हर माँ बाप की तरह हमारा भी सपना था कि हमारी बिटिया पढ़ लिख कर हमारा नाम रोशन करेगी। हमारी पूरी कोशिश रहती है कि हम उसे किसी भी तरह की कोई कमी न आने दें। जितना बन पाता हम दोनों अपनी तरफ से कोशिश करते। शिवानी शुरू से ही एक होशियार बच्ची थी और हम जानते थे वो ज़रूर कुछ बड़ा कर सकती है। छोटा सा परिवार है हमारा भी सपना था कि हमारी बिटिया किसी बड़े स्कूल में जाए जहाँ उसे सारी फैसिलिटी मिले। मैं घर की सारी जिम्मेदारियाँ संभालती और उसके पापा का इलेक्ट्रिशियन का काम है और जितना कमाते हैं उससे घर का खर्च चलाना मुश्किल होता है। शिवानी घर के पास ही सरकारी स्कूल में पढ़ती थी। उसके पापा उसे छोड़ने जाते और मैं पीछे अपने सपनों के साथ खड़ी रहकर सोचती, क्या इस जन्म में हम शिवानी को किसी बड़े स्कूल में दाखिला करा पाएंगे। फिर एक दिन उसके स्कूल से बताया कि सिंघल फाउंडेशन नाम की एक संस्था एक परीक्षा कराती है जिसमें से कुछ बच्चों को चुनकर बड़े स्कूल में दाखिला कराती है और स्कूल का सारा खर्चा खुद ही उठाती है। हमें लगा कि ऊपर वाले ने हमें हमारे सपनों की पहली राह दिखा दी। हमने शिवानी का नाम उस परीक्षा के लिए लिखवा दिया और भगवान के आशीर्वाद से हमारी बेटी का सिलेक्शन उसमें हो गया। हमारी तो जैसे जिंदगी ही बदल गई। शिवानी के नए स्कूल में इतनी सुविधाएं जिनका नाम लेना मेरे लिए मुश्किल ही है। वहाँ का माहौल अलग, पढ़ने का तरीका अलग, नए दोस्त, नए खेल। मेरी बेटी की ज़िंदगी में तो जैसे किसी ने नए रंग भर दिए हों। और अब जब मैं अपनी बेटी को छोड़ने घर के गेट तक जाती हूँ तो इस उम्मीद के साथ कि हमारी बेटी हमारे वो सपने भी पूरे करेगी जिन्हें देखना हमारे लिए मुश्किल था।
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vani, for giving me the opportunity to talk about the two passions that I have. One is giving back to India, giving the children who don't have a chance today on their current path, a chance to become all of us. You know, this is the sad truth about India, that all of us, we are sitting here, we are so privileged. And the person who helps us in our home, their child is probably brighter than my child. But their child on their current path does not get to sit here 20 years down the road. And Sitare Foundation is here to change that. You care about that? Come talk to me at a later point. But I'm here today to talk about my other passion alongside Sitare Foundation, which is how are we going to build tech companies in India tomorrow. And today I would talk about some things that you can only say to your loved ones. I love India. I am giving back everything I've ever made to India. I invest heavily in India. I am the biggest bull when it comes to India. I'm very bullish on India. At the same time, like a parent who loves a child or a friend who loves a friend, you immediately say, hey guys, we need to fix things here. And let's talk about that. So what I will talk about is somewhat controversial because I've had the privilege of living in the valley and seeing companies built in the valley. And I am now seeing what I have seen in the last few years in India as an investor, as a mentor, as a guide to various companies, and I see some troubling signs. So I'm an engineer. You know, engineers have this personality. You give an engineer a performance review at the end of the year, and you start, hey, you have done great job. You are amazing at coding. Engineers will say, don't give me the good stuff. Tell me what needs fixing. Okay, I know there's a lot of good stuff. Let me tell me what needs fixing. So let's talk about what needs fixing. This is the first question every entrepreneur should ask oneself. What do you bring to the table? Okay? Either you have the first mover advantage, Paytm, Uber, or you bring deep science, Google, or you bring a shit ton of money, Reliance. Okay? But what do you bring to the table, my friend? Why should you become a $100 billion company? That's a question you should ask yourself at every stage of your company, angel investing, series A, B, C, D. And this is a question that I have seen people don't ask often enough. What do I bring to the table? Because sometimes the answer is very troubling. If you don't ask that troubling question and get to the troubling answer, you will not build a company that would outlast all of us. Okay? Then based on what you bring to the table, you build a company, and from that company, excuse me, I need a bottle of water too. And what you build in that company gives you network effects. Like eBay. I'm sorry, did I kick something? Is it working? Okay. So you get network effects or a sticky sales channel for enterprise companies. Network effects are like Paytm. Every shop has a Paytm sticker, so every consumer has to be on Paytm and vice versa. So you get network effects or a sticky sales channel which generates crazy amounts of data for your company, and that's when you see all the buzzwords of today. It's all about that data. Without that data, none of them buzzwords, AI, big data, ML, buzzword, whatever, blockchain, whatever. We can keep going, okay? Block AI, whatever it is, right? None of that works without that data. And what are we doing to generate that data? This is one thing that I have seen the Valley does very well. They ask themselves, what do they bring to the table? Deep science or first mover advantage. Then they go generate the data from their first advantage, and then they plow it back to build a company that will outlast all of us. We will need to learn some discipline like that here in India. The other troubling sign that I have seen here is that the tech stack of the companies that I have put my own money in is not as strong than an average company in the Valley. And it's very simple. In the Valley, we got to learn from the best. We got to learn from the pioneers of the Valley who taught more people, and in the Valley, you have tens of thousands of people running around doing world-class ML, AI, you name it, whatever it is. Microservices architecture. I see that somewhat lacking in India, and that's a troubling sign. We will need to build our tech stack to be the same quality as the rest of the world. Otherwise, we would be having a serious problem 5 years down the road, because better tech comes and invades, as we are seeing in several fields within India. And here is the third thing that after living in the Valley and visiting the rest of the world, that I have found to be quite, should I say, intriguing about India. It is culture, okay? You know, culture is strategy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we are proud that we are a jugaad culture. And may I challenge all of you that jugaad gets you this, it would never get you that. If we are going to become the third biggest economy in this world, if we are going to become a country that builds a $100 billion company, my friends, stop being proud of jugaad. Go build excellence. If you don't build excellence, you will never build what you talk about standing on this stage. Okay? This is something that is near and dear to my heart, because that gets us in a place where we are proud of not building high quality stuff. Please never take pride in that. Okay? We are still living in the era of the 60s and the 70s when resources were low, and we have not liberated our brains from that low resource economy where now resources are plentiful, money is pouring in. why are we doing jugaad anymore? Why are we not investing in excellence? Because excellence builds tomorrow. And here is one of the challenges everyone in this room should think about. Distribution. This challenge you guys don't appreciate as much as you should. You should wake up every morning and spend every sleeping hour thinking about distribution, because let me give you a very simple math in the United States. An app installed through Facebook or Google costs you $6. In India, it's lower, but the numbers are all crazy. And a user retention after 30 days post-app install is 10%. So to get a user, you are spending $60, and that's also a leaky bucket as time passes. If you are going to spend $60 to $100 getting a user, imagine how much funding do you need to get 10 million users? You can do the math. Distribution is king, and we need to think about how we are going to distribute not only to India, but here. We need to think global. We need to escape out of India. I feel India is stuck between what I call the Israel-China chasm. Well, what's the Israel-China chasm? Israel had 5 million people. It built companies. It had nowhere to go but out, because there was no domestic market. Guess what market cap Israel has built in the last 30 years? You can read up. China, on the other hand, has $8,000 per capita GDP, as many people as us. So they are content, not really, but they have built a very vibrant $50 billion, $100 billion company ecosystem within China. We behave like China. However, we don't realize that of the $2.6 trillion GDP that we talk about, the bottom 95% is not available as disposable income to spend on luxuries. It's just going in subsistence. So India is actually a 50 to 100 million people country with, when you do the math, in a 50 to 100 million, our per capita GDP comes down to PPP adjusted about $48,000. So you're a 50 to 100 million, we are a 50 to 100 million dollar country with 20% discount on US GDP. Guess what? The biggest US only tech company isn't even $50 billion. And we are going to be less than half that, which makes it much harder for us to actually build a $100 billion company without going out and conquering the rest of the world. Which brings me back to, you need great tech stack and you need to practice excellence if you are ever going to get distribution outside the country. Thank you.